What's up everyone, Grand Lamb here. Today's video is just going to be a quick informative one. Since I guess 3-4 weeks ago I posted a video about the Brave engine in Eldritch, and I think it's time I did a follow-up video about it. Since then, Brave has become like a widespread engine in the OCG, taking a lot of decks by storm, and I think propelling Phantom Knights to tier 1 status actually. Kinda crazy. This video is just gonna cover over basically the most popular Brave decks in the OCG and how I guess it can be ported over here and what they do with the Brave engine. So starting off, we have Brave Trinket, which is a really popular variant of the Trinket deck in OCG. It has a lot of small niche interactions with Brave that I think actually helps it a lot more and makes it better than actually our current TCG version of Trinket. For starters, Journey chain blocks kids when they float to make meow meow, so they can't ash it, which is actually kind of crazy. Of course, you have the generic protection against hand traps that Griffin has. And Griffin also protects you from getting blown out by spawn trap card interruption during the standby phase to stop Pandemonium. I think all in all, this is like the most straightforward Brave deck. Honestly, I do think it is better than current TCG Brave. It's probably going to be experimented more with, but there's a lot of room to go. Alright, so next up we have Brave Phantom Knight, which is the most prominent build in the OCG right now. Using Alchemaster, which is a level 3 monster, they can access the Brave engine just using Cherubini to dump it. That's why most lists are only playing 1 or 2 rights at best. Alchemaster is also a level 3 monster, so you can summon it itself if you happen to have an excess copy of it, since it summons itself if there's a token on the field. Griffin is a non-monster negate, which is kind of important. Most of your interaction with Phantom Knights is through the form of monster negation, which is Fogblade and Utopic Future Dragon. Griffin provides you from stopping from blowout cards, I guess, I would say. And then lastly, Journey is another piece in here where you can dump your Phantom Knight names to set up combos for later on that turn. All in all, I think this really shows the strength of the Brave engine, because Alchemaster being a level 3 is such a big boost to this deck. Next up is another popular variant, which is Eldritch, Phoenix Isekai, or whatever. I like to call it Pi, but it's Brave Eldritch. There's a lot of synergies for this one too, specifically. Griffin protects from blowout back row hate, which is like Lightning Storm, Harpy's Feather Duster. Journey can send Eldritch cards, which I think is pretty big, to set up your name combinations in the end phase. It also synergizes with Phoenix, because you get to pop the same spawn trap cards and get the same, get the change to golden lands for elixirs. Dragon Rider can be used with the golden lands to bounce cards back. That's like a hidden synergy, I guess you would say. It comes up a few times. It's also, Dragon Rider by itself can also fund Golden Lord's both of his effects, because you can dump it from your hand and then it will equip to a token. And then since it's on the field, you can just send to the graveyard to summon back Eldritch, which I think is really cool. The Brave engine cards, if you don't want to go for the negate, you can turn that into a Verta Anaconda and dump Fusion Destiny to summon Enforcer if you need to. And then I think a really big part of this deck is the fact that if you open Ceremony or Rite, I think it's called now, plus Golden Lord, that's just 7,500 damage, which is a lot of damage output for an Eldritch deck. I don't think most other variants actually could do that besides Secret Eldritch, which has been a while. But all in all, I think it's pretty cool. All three of the engines in the deck complement each other pretty well. I might make another video about this later, because this is what I've been playing for tournaments online, besides Plunger. And yeah, basically. Next up is a lesser known variant, but still, I guess, pretty popular among online communities, is Brave Dragon Link. Using Black Metal Dragon, you actually just don't care about the Brave restriction at all. I guess the trade-off is that you can't play safe right now, which I guess it does hurt, but I guess the Brave engine is technically 8 more copies of Call by the Grave, so you just have to figure out whether or not you want that. a few other synergies with it is that Journey sets up combos with Router and other Dark Dragon names, which is pretty cool. In the situation where your token gets like destroyed, removed from the field, or anything, your Griffin is a Winged Beast monster, so you can make Romulus with it, which I think is really neat. The token's a level 4 non-tuner in case you ever wanted to synchro with it. And then Dragon Rider is pretty good to out annoying cards that would be typically seen against Dragon Link, like Theric Ability 1, Mystic Mind, stuff like that. I think this deck is really cool, especially when we get Borland, because this deck can actually, it has a few combos that end on Borland plus Savage with just 3 zones needed. I'll show the end board later, but I think that is really neat, and I think as long as it gets more experimentation, you'll be seeing this a lot more. Next is Virtual World, which is one that's seeing experimentation right now. This is the only variant that can recycle the Griffin, which I think is pretty cool. Naturally, you have hand trap protection, and then Journey also, again, sets up combos because it can dump Klingalong and Neon in the graveyard before you start playing. Virtual World's not really a deck that cares about the restrictions since your normal summon doesn't activate. And there's another thing where, like, Griffin's a level 7 monster, so you can make Flare Release with it, or I guess the level 10 Baron Flare with it, the Negate. It might come up. Level 4 is also non-tuner, then make level 7 synchros, which I guess is cool. But mostly it's just the synergy with, like, how you banish and recycle your cards. So, like, for instance, Shen, when he attacks, he puts a banish card from the banish to the graveyard. And Aquamancer is a card that banishes itself for cost to add right, so each turn you can keep just putting back Aquamancer, which I think is neat. Aquamancer is also level 3, which might come up for XYZs, but this might need some more optimizing, I think. I did a little rough draft here, but I think once more players get a hold of the engine, they'll start seeing it. Okay, so I guess this section will be like the honorable mentions. The first one being Good Stuff Brave, which is basically take all the good engines right now and just shove it in a deck with it. No concrete archetype to hold it all together, you just put in engines. So you have stuff like Hulk, you have stuff like Phoenix, and just a whole bunch of hand traps. It ends on a whole bunch of different wonky stuff. I think it's kind of cool. I'll put the end board somewhere in this video. I don't know if it will translate really well to the TCG because we don't have Jet Synchron, but there's a few other things. Probably once players get a hold of the cards, we'll start seeing some optimization forms of it. The next one's Salamangreat. Salamangreat's one of the first Brave engines I tested. It's really cool because Griffin is a hand trap negator, which is what Salad struggles with sometimes, but the issue is that Stalio locks in a fire monster effect, so Griffin gets turned off and then you get Nibiru, so it's the same thing as before. It's unfortunate Nibiru is like that, but I guess it's life. Next one is Math Mech, which I actually don't know much about, I just hear it's good. I will try that out later and get back to it, but I mean that's just an option. Mech Knight is one I've been seeing a bit on Road King. Right is a 1-card column, which sets up all of your Mech Knight combos, which I guess is cool. And finally, one I've seen a little bit of is Cyberse, which is just generic Cyberse toolbox with it, since you're only locked afterwards. I guess it's the only one that cares about is Transcode, which I guess you shouldn't be using turn 1 with it. Outside that, I don't know if, without Heat Soul, I don't know whether or not it's good here. But yeah, that's mostly it. I think this engine's neat, but it's also a little degen sometimes, because it's basically is just another 8 copies, or 6 copies of Call by the Grave or Crossout, and I could understand why it's not fun for some people. We get Grand Creators in January, so that gives us enough time, but I think the OCD is having an issue with the card right now. Outside that, yeah, I'll just post some end boards at the end of this to show you guys just what this engine's capable of, and see you guys.